Hello everybody! On this video I will address one of the biggest challenges of figure painting, the face. More specifically, I will use as an example a woman's face, but the principles and techniques are the same for a man's face. The difference being that possibly the skin tone would be a little darker and the face could have more wrinkles. So, let's first enumerate the main steps that we must take to ensure consistent results. First, of course, we start with the primer. Usually we use a black undercoat, and it's better if you apply it with an airbrush or a spray can. But if that is not an option for you, don't worry. You can also use a regular brush. The difference is that by vaporizing the paint, we will get a smoother and uniform undercoat. Then we apply the first base, also by our brush. The goal being, over the black primer, to get close to the skin color. Then comes an important step, which is the main base. This will define the basic color for the face, with the tonal and light values that we feel are more appropriate for the figure. This will be the last step where we'll be using the airbrush, besides the final protective coat of matte varnish in the end, if you like. On top of this layer, what we will then apply, with the brush, are darker and lighter variations of this base color, trying to replicate the light reflections on the model. We start with the darker shades, using as reference the main base, and then proceed to the lighter tones. Finally, we will finish with the eyes and mouth, and maybe some corrections of color or tone that we may perceive as appropriate. So, let's begin with the first base. Over the black primer I've already applied off camera. For the main base, we must have in mind that there isn't really a skin color. The human species has very different colors and shades of skin, so the first thing you must do is decide on what type of base color you feel is more appropriate for your figure. This time I decided on a two-color mix, one more yellow, orange, and the other more rosy. This is the result we get after applying the main base. Now for the reflections phase, let's call it like that. If we look at the human's face under natural light, we will realize there will be light, intermediate and strong reflections that will occur most of the time on the same spots. Those are the reflections that we'll try to recreate artificially by painting them on the figure's face. Naturally, the strength and positioning of those shades will depend on the intensity and positioning of the light source, and we will also have to take that in mind. But, as a rule of thumb, most of the time it will be safe to paint the reflections on the spots shown here. If you are having doubts on where the light would fall on your figure, you may take a snapshot of the figure under a light source, positioned where you feel appropriate, and then use the photo as a reference for the painting process. Preparing the paint on a wet palette. One of the easiest ways to apply the dark and light reflections is a technique called blending. Don't worry, it's not a big deal. The idea is not to apply the color on a single pass, but instead with multiple coats of highly diluted paint, one on top of the other, until you achieve the effect you desire. Remember to wipe out most of the paint before each stroke, otherwise you will risk flooding the figure's surface and ruining the effect. This is the result so far. Now let's move on to the lighter reflections. Although the norm is to try to achieve a finish as smooth as possible, in truth there is no rule that it must be so. In fact, artistic painting is full of examples of rough applications of patches of color, while at the other end of the spectrum we have almost photorealistic effects. So, remember, it's up to you to decide what approach to take, based only on your personal preferences. You can keep going on and on blending the colors, deciding to spend 1 hour or 1 day or even more with the process. Anyway, one thing is true: the more time you spend at this phase, the better the end result will be. For example, the figure on this video took me almost 4 hours, from the main base coat up to finishing the eyes and mouth. The result so far? Painting the eyes on such a small figure is always difficult, but the real challenge is to being able to get the whole process recorded on video. I'm afraid I'm not up to the task. For the record, you start by making the iris with a black dot, then paint the interior with the color you see fit, in this case light blue, and then a black dot in the center, for the pupil. Finish with a very tiny white dot off center. For the lips I used a mix of brown and pink color, with a light value not too different from the skin tone, to make them look real. Remember to add a bit of lighter color on the upper part of the lower lip, to recreate reflected light. Also, to give a more lifelike appearance, I added a small sign on the lower part of the face. One final tip: even if you are happy with your work so far and consider your painting job already finished, wait until the next morning and then re-evaluate your figure. Moving away and coming back after a while will give you a fresher perspective over your work, letting you consider some last-minute corrections. For instance, I left this figure already finished, or so I thought, for a couple of days, and when I returned to it, I almost immediately decided to lighten up a bit the darker areas, as I thought the overall tonal balance had become too dark. To wrap it up, here are some points I feel are important and that may help you on your painting hobby. So, follow the 6 steps flow of work. It will assure consistent results. Apply the primer and basic coats by airbrush if possible. Remember, the more time you spend adding tone variations and light reflections, the better will be the end result. Let your work rest for a while, and then come back and consider some last-minute improvements. So, this is how it looks in the end.